Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. Future Drac here in a clean t-shirt, and I know some stuff now that Past Drac doesn't. We're about to watch Past Drac be really excited and announce a bunch of stuff, but I'm Future Drac, and Future Drac knows that the Dart Zone Pro Tour is going to have a lot more information announced on 3 different platforms all at the same time with the same message on October 25th. So if you're really excited about just information regarding prize support, specifics, or the exactitudes of the format that we'll be playing in the top 8 qualified teams of the Foam Pro Tour, that's going to be referred to as the Dart Zone Pro Tour at End War, henceforth, outside of Past Drac's video. And all of that information will be launched on October 25th on this channel, on the foamprotour.com website, as well as on the Dart Zone website itself. And with that, I'll give you back to Past Drac. What's up, guys? It's Drac, and it's time to finally talk to you about Cold War. Now, I could give you the whole story, and it would interest some of you, but some of you just want the dirty details, so we'll go back to front, and we'll start with just telling you that Cold War is going to be a competitive Nerf qualifying tournament event happening in Sanford, Florida, this November 21st at Fort Mellon Park. Some of the most important details for you guys are that it is a 5v5 competitive tournament. All blasters are allowed as long as they meet the rules and requirements that you'll be able to view on foamprotour.com. I am working on updating, clarifying, putting an FAQ, everything that I need to do on that website so that it's as clear as it possibly can be, because for the first time, realistically ever, we have a prize pool of 5 digits to give away this year, and I am so incredibly excited. I'm so grateful to our sponsors for making that possible, and what that means and where we are in terms of like competitive Nerf or foam flinging or blaster tag is just so very exciting for someone who's wanted that for so long. I am just honored and privileged to be putting on this tournament. My only regret is that I can't play in it for the obvious ethical reasons, like designing the game type and laying out the field and picking all the locations. So Cold War will be a 5v5 tournament. Anyone is free to enter. There is no age limit. If you're under the age of 18, you're going to need a parent or guardian to sign your waiver. It's going to be happening at Fort Mellon Park, and at the end of the day, 2 teams, first place and second place, are going to have qualifiers, golden tickets, if you will. Those 2 qualifications are going to lead you to the top 8, the final round of competition for the Dart Zone Pro Tour, occupying the Foam Pro Tour this year at End War. That's going to be happening of summer of next year. These are your first 2 opportunities to qualify by coming in either first or second place with your team. It's very exciting. The first place team also gets a travel voucher of $1,000 to make their journey to End War that much easier. All the qualifiers will have a travel voucher prize for the first place team, and then the second place team will also qualify for that top 8. The top 8, of course, is going to have just a litany of prizes, some of which I can't even talk about. They're so exclusive and cool, but in addition to just the really cool swag, you're going to get a shot at $10,000 in cash, which really defines and elevates the hobby to the sport that I've always known it could be, now that you can play and win something of real substance and style. I'm just so excited for it. But Cold War itself is going to be run in Sanford, Florida in November. Now, why would I have picked those places? Well, first off, Sanford, Florida is a really cute little town. I like it a lot, and it happens to be really close to all of the theme parks down in Orlando. It's cheaper to stay in Sanford so that you could save a little bit of money, do some sort of fun last-minute road trip kind of for the year, get your competitive foam flinging itch in, lock in your top 8 qualifications so that you don't have to sweat any of the other qualifiers. There will be, of course, more qualifiers. There's going to be one in the Northeast, one on the West Coast, and then one last chance qualifier, because we have such cool pickup teams that are international or congruent of different groups playing together that I didn't want to lose that spirit in the Foam Pro Tour, so I wanted to give them an opportunity to duke it out for a qualifying slot as well. But this is kind of like an opportunity for a warm vacation when the country's chilling out, and I'm pretty excited for it, despite the fact that I'm sure that most people watching this video have never heard of Sanford, Florida. I think that it's got a great little park, it's got a good events venue. I think we're gonna have a really great time. It's a special town, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. If you're excited to play in Cold War, given that it's a free event, pre-registering always seems a little bit silly because of no-shows. However, I will have a downloadable registration form that people will be able to print off and bring with them the morning of to present their team and their registration so that they can compete in our Tournament of Champions. I'm very stoked. I can't wait to see what teams Florida produces. I know that the The old SE&C is going to produce a couple of teams, and having a little bit of backyard advantage means that I'll be able to bring excellent referee staff to this one, and we'll have just the highest quality of competitive play out there. I'm just really excited to see who our first and second qualifying teams are. And again, if you're watching this and this seems like an adventure worth having, like, I'm sure that we'll get a couple of local vendors down there. You'll get to hang out with a lot of other people. There's going to be free play. A few of your favorite foam flinging Nerf celebrities should make an appearance. And I'm not going to make any promises, as this is not the grand spectacle that End War is, and it is our intention to run 3 of these qualifiers as satellite qualifiers and then the 4th one at End War itself. But all I can say is that if I was able to compete in this tournament, I would definitely want to qualify as soon as possible. It's not the kind of thing that you're going to want to miss. Again, all of the information and some of the things that I'm still housekeeping and cleaning up are available at foamprotour.com. That's foamprotour.com. The link will be in the description box down below. You should have a lot of information on the rules, on the registration, on the locations. And while none of that is set in stone and all of that is somewhat subject to change, those are my goals, my roadmap for the event and the tournament. I also just want to point out that while I'm excited for and stoked about competitive play and have been since the beginning of my Nerfing career, I know that it's not for everybody. Some people just like hanging out and flinging foam on the sidelines, and there will be free play at each one of the qualifiers. I want to make sure that there's something for everybody in the true spirit that End War is carried into the hobby. I want to make sure that the Pro Tour doesn't lose that, and that people have something to do regardless of if they grabbed 4 buddies and are ready to fling foam at the highest level. But I'm excited to bring that event to you guys. And as long as I've got your attention, I want to share a few more blips and oddities with you, some cool stuff that we've got coming to my web store personally, some products that have been out of stock for a very long time. Let's get into it. So 2 years ago, I launched the Scabbard rig. This is easily the best way to store 6 magazines on you, whether you're a katana guy or a Talon guy. This is the most tactical hybrid. It's made by SOE up in Tennessee. It's just really high quality gear. I've probably taken mine to 100 events in that time period, and it has held up really well through power slides, through constantly, popping it up and letting it drop back down. Like, it is in great shape. This is my prototype that I developed over at SOE before doing the Kickstarter. So this is the original one. It's hard to say if anybody's put theirs through more wear and tear, and it still looks great today. It's a little more form-fitted to me at this point, but other than that, it's an awesome shape. It was done in Typhon Cryptek with a red trim for that pop of color. Just really cool stuff. And I did it specifically to order. You had to be in the Kickstarter to get one. I did not make any extras. So like, what you got on the Kickstarter is what John made, and that's what I shipped. And as soon as that Kickstarter was over, I got people being like, when are you going to do more? When are there going to be more of these? I really wanted one, man. I know the Kickstarter was for 60 days, but I couldn't get in there. And so whether they were blowing smoke or serious, since then, it never fails. I get constant questions about when there will be more Scabbards. And I am pleased to announce in advance of the holiday season that we did a run, or a second run of them. So this is the Series 2 Scabbard. It is identical to the first one in terms of its function, form, fit. It's all the goodness that you've been drooling over since we did the first one, but it's a little more nerfy. And I'm pleased with this different schema. It'll fit into people's loadouts differently, not necessarily better or worse. This is my favorite combination for tactical gear, is the Typhon with the red thread. But I felt like an orange thread would really pop, would make it a little more fun. So this one is Cryptek Raid, which is the black and white Cryptek with an orange thread. And just as a fun fact, like a little side thing, it actually matches my favorite pair of Katanica shorts. So this one will match these shorts better, so I'm keeping one for myself. But this is the orange and Raid Scabbard. These are available on foamproshop.com right now. If you're one of the people that's been waiting to get your hands on just the highest quality tactical gear that we have in the hobby, I did one more run of them. I don't know if I'll do a third run. It's actually very difficult to sneak into the production cycle at SOE due to how busy they are. And it's a real drive for me to get up there to produce anything new. But it's always a pleasure to collaborate with people who are literally the best in the world at what they do. And I'm pleased to bring that product to the hobby that I love so very much. The other thing that I wanted to say is just a sincere thank you. The support on our Mark III kit has been unbelievable. The batteries sold out within like 30 hours. They were just gone. We listed the last 6 that I was saving for myself because they sold out so fast, and those sold out ridiculously fast. The muzzles have been incredibly popular. People seem to really like giving their Mark III a nose job. Again, if the orange, we sell a custom orange called Pumpkin Orange on the store. If that's not to your taste, you can always put the custom color picker in there and tell us what color you'd like, and we're happy to accommodate you in your own special kit. Just make sure that you find the color picker and add that to the cart and then put it in the notes. It's a little bit of a chore, but in the same spirit as how I'm running the Foam Pro Tour website, the web store, all of this is still very relatively new to me, and so I'm a big fan of flying the plane while you repair it. I think that it's better to be doing something actively than thinking about doing something perfectly, and so we're just doing our best. We've shipped a lot of these and everybody seems really, really happy with them. So thank you so much for your support of our Mark III kit, whether you're doing the cosmetic version or the full performance version with the cage and our wheels. Either way, means the world to me. Thank you so very, very much. And in that spirit, since we've had such amazing sales on the Mark III, I couldn't help but prototype something really, really cool together. So if you've been watching for a long time, you should be familiar with the Nix cage. In fact, I'm wearing my Nix t-shirt. It's just the finest HVZ spec cage for Strife Rapid Strike combinations. There have been over 800 of them produced, and across the board, everybody seems universally very, very happy with their consistency, accuracy, and performance. So it was clear that we'd hit a formula that worked really, really well with the Howler wheels and the Nix cage, and we never really detracted from that. We left those two mated to one another as a perfect system to get people into flywheel modding as easily as possible. They work with a litany of different motors, but I prefer running them on fangs because I really like fangs. So when the Mark III came out and I noticed that the screw porting on it was eerily similar to a Strife, I knew that I had to go over to the CNC machine and see if I could put something special together. So we've done a limited edition run of these. I will not be making more of them because I don't know how popular a premium product for an already premium product is going to be. But I call these the Epizone cage. This is our custom logo for it. This is the kind of thing that I would have done in a Kickstarter back in the day, but now with the web store, it makes sense to just make it available to you guys as soon as possible with no wait, no backer support. It's effectively a Nix cage that I tweaked a lot of the tolerances on and removed a screw port so that it mates in to the pusher mechanism of the Mark III. And if you notice, this one is serial number 000. That's because this is my prototype. I have been so busy in the month of October that despite how excited I am about this part, I have not had time to test it. So before I list them on the web store, I need to make sure that they work. And it's a little weird, and it'll be very embarrassing if it doesn't work out swimmingly to include it in this announcement video, but that's part of the nature of progress in engineering and tinkering and production, is that occasionally you just have to take leaps based on known variables. I will be testing this live and installing it in a Mark III this Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Twitch channel. So if you want to watch that happen, I'm happy to do that on Twitch live. We'll test it, and then at the end of it, if I'm truly satisfied, I'm going to push the go button on the website and I'm going to release them. The serial numbers are, again, low serial numbers, so in the order that you order, you will get a serial number. I might make a custom option drop-down thing for like all the single-digit numbers so that if you really want to be watching that Twitch stream and get a specific number, I know that some people are like serial hunters in the hobby, that will be an option for you as well. Although 0, I think, is gonna stay with me. But that's the Epizone cage. It's the Greek word for survivor. Given the HVZ nature of Nix and how it was spec'd and toleranced specifically to those game types, this is really for the people who want maximum accuracy out of their Mark IIIs and intend to use it for humans versus zombies. So that's the Twitch announcement. That's the new product announcement. So we've launched 2 new premium products, and then we've launched our, generic, non-arcane, just fit and finish stuff for the Mark III, and we're very grateful for that. That's the Cold War announcement. We would love to see you in November. Again, it is a free event with its own cash prize and then the promise of much, much more should you come in first or second. It's the kind of tournament that you truly do not want to miss, and this is the only qualifier happening in this calendar year due to weather requirements and everything that's going to be going on there. It's my intention, and this is the final story that I alluded to in the beginning. Cold War was always supposed to be a winter event to companion with End War, something to break up the 12-month End War wait. It was in my little dream journal next to the End War page that I wrote back in like 2011, 2012. The reason that I didn't need it or launch it up until this point is because, my sister does such an amazing job with End War's sister event, Ragnarok Oktoberfest, during the same time period that Cold War would have been during the calendar year, that I never thought that it was going to be necessary. But now that we have qualifying needs and we did not get Ragnarok this year, nor did we get End War this year, I've decided to kind of pull it out of my dream journal and make it a real thing. Will it continue into the future? I don't know. This is the first annual Cold War. If the response is really, really good to it, then we will do it again. The talks that I've had with the city down in Florida have been good. I think that they would be happy to have us back again and again, but I don't know that yet. So for right now, we're locked into one event, one day, and I hope that we all have an amazing time. There's the potential for it to grow into something of its own accord, but it'll always be a qualifier for the tournament as long as the tournament's prize support remains in a place where we can, do qualifiers for it. So that's it. Cold War is like kind of an accessory to End War. It might grow as time goes on, but the best place to start is now, and if not now, when? So it's something that I'm really excited to bring to you guys. I think that we're all going to have an amazing time. The weather should be great down there around that time of year. And being before any major holidays, it actually should be a pretty decent time to sneak in a Disney trip if that's your flavor. The last thing that we need to talk about is the elephant in the room. Cold War poses the ability to be the largest foam flinging event since the pandemic fell. Other smaller events have had great results using the same sort of insurance protocols of vaccines or negative test requirements that things like Dragon Con and Coachella have been using. Those major events and the insurance that they use is very similar to what I anticipate we'll be using for this. The concerns and liabilities are obviously still very real, still very present, and given the sponsorship and companies involved, we can take no chances. We have to be as safe as we possibly can. I just want to make that abundantly clear on the front end as soon as I can that that's my expectation going into it. And I would like you guys to have that expectation as well, as that we are going to be running as safe an event as we possibly can. So at this time, with this current situation and Cold War being so close, I would expect that you'll be having to present either a vaccine card or a negative test within a 48-hour period at registration to sign up you, your teammates, your cheerleaders, etc. As much as we want to have an amazing and competitive event, we also want to have an incredibly safe day of fun foam flinging, and everybody's going to be a lot more comfortable under those circumstances that have been working for major and minor events across the country so far. None of this is to get political in my comment section or certainly at the event itself. It's just that's the way that I think that it's going to have to be, and I want you to have that expectation going into it so that you know whether or not this is an adventure that's going to suit you. I'm very excited to see all of you. Thank you so much for watching this update video. I know these kinds of videos aren't exactly the most exciting videos, but they are the best way to disseminate multiple pieces of information at one time to my entire audience, other than building a website, which I have to tell people about for it to work. So this is kind of the kickoff of the Foam Pro Tour 2022 season, as well as a couple of other really fun things that I've been working on quietly over the last few months. My October is crazy. We're going to keep cranking out content for you during it, but do not be surprised if you see a couple more weird venues and locations for videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, much love. Blast on, Drac out. I can't reach the camera to do the cool fade out high five thing. Pretend I did it. All right, bye.